Yes. So in the last class, which happened yesterday, we looked at quite a lot of topics, right? We looked at all of these topics that are there on the screen in front of you, right? So controllability, test your understanding 5. We saw absorption costing, marginal costing, under absorption, over absorption, all of that we had seen. And today, we're not really going to do much of numbers. There's going to be a little break on the numbers. We're going to do more of theory. And this is stuff that you really need to know in order to do chapter 2 and chapter 3 well. A lot of talking, a lot of theory. So I will try my best to keep it as interesting as possible. Okay. And yesterday I finished controllability, test your understanding 5, methods of absorption, illustration 1, under absorption, over absorption. I told you what is data. Data is basically raw facts that is not useful for decision making. When that data is defined, when that data is processed, and when that data is now finally useful for decision making, that is what is information. Then we moved on to look at what are the qualities of good information. I don't know why it's not here, but we looked at qualities of good information. We looked at what IT is. We looked at what information system is. And we had looked at the costs and benefits of the information system. Today, and also the role of the information system. I hope you've written the notes down, but it's 5:37, meaning we have about 2 to 3 minutes before we start today's topic, which is, today is what, 6th of April. And the first topic of today's class is what is a network? What do I mean by a network? What is a network? See, forget, I'll show you the textbook later. Forget technology. In general, when I say, oh, I have a big network, and I say I have a big network, it really means, what does it mean? It means I am well connected with people. Right? So, oh, that's a very big network. Networking, what do we mean by networking? Networking is where you get connected to people. That's what networking is. So the term network itself comes from being connected or from connecting. The term network itself, network, let me just check if we're being recorded. Yeah. The term network itself comes from being connected. So imagine if network means to be connected. Imagine in your house, we have so many things, so many devices. We have so many devices. For example, you have your laptop, you have your mobile, you have your printer. When these devices are connected together, that's when you say that's a network. So when people are connected, you say that's a network of people. When devices are connected to each other, you say that's a network. This is when computers and devices are connected together. Now, why are they connected together? So that we can share and exchange files. We can share and exchange anything basically. So many organizations, here the key word is connect. their computers together, and that's about it. So network is just where your devices are connected with each other. Now, as much as people would want to kind of complicate this, I don't know how many of you have done PM before, but that's about it. That's what a network is, just connected devices. That's all, right? Now we're going to look at LAN and we're going to look at WAN. Right? Just like, again, just like how you have a small network within your city. Maybe you have a small network of friends, 3-4 people. That is like 3-4 people connected locally. People connected locally. Same way, similarly, devices can also be connected locally. So a LAN itself stands for what? Local area network. A LAN is a local area network. As I said, locally within a specific region, within a specific, say, building or location, the devices are connected. And that is what is a LAN. For example, in an office, the computers are connected. That's the LAN, because that's within a local area, you have what? A network. Within a local area, there is a network. And that's why we call it a LAN. And what do I mean by network? Network is basically devices that are connected with each other. And so if LAN, local area network, is clear, automatically WAN, wide area network, should also be cleared. Right? What is a WAN? A WAN is a wide area network. Okay. Now, wide area networks are used to connect LANs together so that computer users in one location can communicate with computer users in another location. Remember, I told you that within, say, your city, you have locally connected friends. But those set of locally connected friends would be connected with another set of locally connected friends, say, in another city or in another country. So we have 4 friends in Chennai. We have 3 friends in Mumbai. I'm saying Mumbai because Zohaib mentioned about Mumbai. We have 4 friends connected in Dubai. So a LAN is basically a local area network, but a WAN is a wide area network. A WAN is a bigger network. So basically, we WANs are connecting many LANs together. Right? So LAN, WAN, and a network is clear. A network is the only word you need to know is a connection between the devices. Moving on to what is an intranet. We all know what internet is. Inter is something that is between people. Inter. I mean, for example, inter-college event is an event that will happen between 2 colleges or more, 2 or more colleges. That is inter between 2 or more. Intra is within. Inter is between you and somebody else. Intra is within you. So an intranet, so see, we're all connected through the internet, correct? You, me, I'm using it, you're using it. But intranet, an intranet is more like, imagine a private internet where only you can access it just for your company. I hope this is clear. So only employees can access it. Outsiders can. So an intranet is an internal network within again, you imagine a private internet. This is a, as I said, that's why I use the word private internet. This is a private network contained within an organization just for your company. Okay, so I hope that is clear with what an intranet is. All right. Now we're going to look at what is a firewall. Now, again, once 5 topics are over, I will quickly recap on the first 5 topics because all of these are things that are easy to get, but also easy to forget. A firewall, a wall. What is a wall? A wall is something, oh, the Great Wall of China. What does a wall do? A wall is something that would, you know, the compound wall. What does a compound wall do? It protects your house from outsiders. So a firewall is like that protecting guard. It stops hackers or outsiders, just like how a compound wall will stop thieves and outsiders from entering your property. A firewall is like that compound wall. It stops hackers or outsiders from getting into your company's intranet. Because remember, intranet was more like a private network, just like how your house is a private residence. So your house is like an intra-residence. It's for you. It's private. And around your house, there's a compound wall. The compound wall protects any intruders from entering your house. Just like that, you have an intranet. Intranet is more like a private network, which isn't open to outsiders. So the firewall is that protecting wall or that protecting guard that safeguards your intranet. A firewall surrounding an intranet fends off unauthorized access from the outside the organization. Meaning what? It's meaning exactly what I just mentioned. Okay. So let me quickly summarize on what did I just say. What is a network? A network is something which is connected. Just like you have a network of friends, a network is connected devices that share things together. What is a LAN? A LAN is a local area network where connected devices within a small local area are connected. WAN is a wider area network. Intranet is what? Intranet is more like a private internet for you. Right? And firewall is that protecting guard, that protecting wall that safeguards your intranet from intruders and outsiders. With which I hope everything is clear and there is absolutely no problem. Now we're going to look at cloud computing. Guys, I am taking your feedback into consideration, right? Most of you felt that my speed is fine. but we agreed to go like about 5% faster. And that's why I'm going like 5% faster. So if you don't understand something, definitely do let me know. Now, what is cloud computing? See, what is a cloud? I mean, I don't want to get so silly, but anything for you people. What is a cloud? This is a cloud, right? So I am under that cloud. We all have access to the cloud. I can also see the cloud. You can also see the cloud. We all can see where the cloud is, right? We're all on Earth, and we all can see the clouds. So no matter where you are, whether I am in the school or I am in the house, we all have access to the cloud, right? Everybody can see the cloud. That is what cloud is, and that is what cloud computing is. Cloud computing is where is instead of storing your files, tools on your computer or on your device, you store your files on something which can be easily accessed remotely, on something which is like a cloud. Like a cloud. Now, when I say which is like a cloud, I mean easily accessed, whether you have your device or not. Just like you can easily access the cloud, whether you are in the park, also you can see the cloud, whether you're in the house, also you can see the cloud, whether you're on the road, also you can see the cloud. So a cloud is a place that is an easily accessible place. So instead of keeping your files in the house, instead of keeping your files in your device, you store your files on the cloud, with which all you need is internet. Nobody cares which device you have the file stored on. As long as the file is on the cloud, you can access it. All of our Finchartered Academy classes that are recorded get stored on our cloud. Right? Cloud, and I'm sure all of you have also used cloud. Right? So all the devices are stored in one, all the files are stored in one place. So as long as you have access to the cloud, you can access the files. So cloud computing means storing and using your files on the internet instead of storing it on the computer. So basically, a cloud is a remote server that you can access through the internet. So whether you're in the house, whether you're in the cafe, whether you're in the office, you can see the cloud, right? Just peep outside the window, you will see the cloud. Same way, whether you are in the house, office, cafe, you can open your files. So cloud computing is the delivery of different services through the internet, allowing data to be stored, managed, and processed using remote servers. As files are stored on remote servers rather than locally, they can be accessed through electronic devices with the access to the internet, regardless of the location. As a result, cloud computing allows on-demand access to data. All right. So that, I mean, the textbook has just used more smarter words than I have, but I've explained what it is, right? In simple layman terms, right? I've just explained what it is. Now we're looking at the benefits of cloud computing. What, according to me, are the benefits of cloud computing is I don't need so much storage space because things are not stored on my device. Things are stored on the cloud, right? So you don't need to buy big servers or extra storage. Where the cloud has infinite space. But the business pays for the space that we use. As long as we're paying more, we get unlimited space. Right? So that's the first benefit of the cloud. And as I mentioned, the second benefit of the cloud is access from anywhere. Right? Whether I'm using my laptop, whether I'm using my mobile, whether I'm using no matter what device I'm using, no matter which country or city I am in, I can access my files on the cloud. Right? And also your backups are safe. Right? So say, for example, you by mistake delete a file, the cloud can help you recover it. Right? So backup safety net. So employees can restore or access works in progress, making it more efficient than legacy systems. It allows them to work from, I mean, we are continuously saying the same thing. But if you accidentally delete a file, don't worry, your cloud is there for you. Your cloud is there for you. All right. Then comes security. What do I mean by security? We all know what we mean by security. Good cloud companies have very strong security. I mean, your files are safe on the cloud. That's why probably the name itself is the cloud. Can we access the cloud? Can any random person just touch the cloud? No. It's way up there. Nobody can access it. Your files are very, very safe. Right? So security, some have concerns about security of the cloud, but others believe that it offers best practice security. So the security service provider has an obligation to have problems repaired or upgraded. Next comes agility. The next benefit of cloud is agility, meaning it's fast and flexible. This is fast and flexible. See, it's basically fast. Right? So that is the benefit of cloud computing. These are some benefits of cloud computing. Then we're going to look at what an extranet is. Remember, intranet was where it's basically connecting you. It's like a private network. Extranet is where it's a network. Extranet is also a private system, just like an intranet. But intra means it's connected only to you and people within your organization. Extra means you are connected to selective outsiders, such as suppliers, customers, and so on. An extranet is a collaborative network which uses internet technology to join organizations. This is a private extension of the extranet. That's why I use these words to explain. Extranet is what? It's a private system just like the intranet. So it's basically a private secure extension of the intranet where you are now extendedly connected to other people such as suppliers, customers, and other business partners. All right. And finally comes internet. Now it's a little funny that I have to explain to you what the internet is, right? Every day we are living our lives on the internet, right? Internet is basically the biggest network in the world, you can say. We're all connected via what? Via the internet. So internet is what? It's also a network. We are all using the internet to connect with each other. But this is a very big network. Okay. The internet connects computers and devices globally, letting people watch videos, letting people attend classes, and whatever. So the internet is basically what? A very big, massive network. Okay, so we've looked at these 9 things we've covered so far. All right. However, there are both advantages. Now, we all know what the advantages of the internet is. I mean, we're all connected. I mean, we wouldn't be having this class if there was no internet. But there are risks of the internet. So definitely we agree that by using the internet, we have great communication, we do data sharing, but there are also downsides of being connected to the internet. The downsides of the internet are viruses, for example, hackers, for example. And that's why, remember, building that wall is so important, right? Who remembers what is the name of that wall that is protecting us? So yes, we are well connected. Yes, we are sharing data. I'm explaining everything that is in the textbook, but in my words. See, I just explained what I've highlighted in blue. Just read what is highlighted in blue. Yes. So that is what we've looked at, the risks of the internet and so on. So again, let's summarize. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the use of the internet to save and store files on, right? So that is what cloud computing is. Then comes extranet. What is extranet? This is basically, again, a private network, but we share certain information with outsiders, such as suppliers and customers. Then comes the internet. Internet is like a very big network that is now helping connect us all. Okay, so that is done. Now we're looking at wireless and handheld technology. What do I mean by wireless and handheld technology? Is as of now, as I'm teaching, okay, what devices are you people using? Okay, let me talk about myself later, but what devices are you guys using as I speak? You're using your laptop, your phone, your pad, tab. What are you using? Laptop, laptop. 2 people are using laptop. Is your device, is your laptop connected to anything? Connected to like a connected to Wi-Fi, okay. But I'm asking, any cable is there that is connecting your laptop to the internet? No. So as we are using. Again, this is not something that should be very difficult for us to understand, wireless and handheld technology, because we're literally living our lives in this. We are all connected without any wires. Look at your mobile, right? There's no cable that is connecting us to the internet. And that is what wireless is. Wireless is there's no wire that's connecting us. You don't need cables to connect to the internet. You can just use Wi-Fi. You use Wi-Fi. What do I mean by Wi-Fi? This is Wi-Fi full form is wireless fidelity, right? Wi-Fi is what? Wi-Fi is wireless fidelity. That's the full. And Wi-Fi, again, I find it a little too much to be sitting and explaining to people what Wi-Fi is. Right now, this is something that helps you get connected to the internet without a cable. Right? So, I mean, I'm not going to type anything there because I don't want to feel more lamer to sit and type what Wi-Fi is. But again, Wi-Fi is where you access the internet without any cables. Wireless fidelity. Now, again, nowadays, we don't need to talk about all these handheld technology that we're using because we're all after class on our handheld devices. I don't know if you would want to agree or not. At least I am on my handheld device after 8 p.m. Indian time. People use these devices for almost everything. I mean, literally everything, right? We use to buy our groceries using these handheld devices. I watch, we watch movies and shows on these handheld devices. Now in India, what is happening? We hardly have cash, use of cash, right? Everything is on GPay. You go to buy something on the roadside, there's GPay. Everybody, literally everything. So everything, buying things, paying for things, transferring money, everything is happening on these handheld devices. And that's why companies are now using this. Companies are now building websites that fit on these small screens. And when we talk about companies, we can talk about Finchartered Academy. When we built our app and when we built our website, we tried to make it in such a way that people can access, watch the recordings on their phone, because now we know that most people are using their phones to do whatever they want to do. So you access it on your phone, it's there. Some people travel by the bus and it takes them 2 hours to reach their 2 hours to reach their place of work or study. So they can watch the classes in that time. So this is what companies are doing now, because again, the use of wireless technology has increased greatly. So again, what are the advantages? Wireless technology. Number one, access to information. What this means is you can get data from anywhere. Literally, I mean, we don't need to elaborate more on this. We use the wireless technology to get data. You can be on the road and get information. You are lost, okay, just open Google Maps and then you are connected. Access data and information from literally any location, right? Expansion opportunities, because we're all using wireless technology, we can have a number of devices connected without the need of cables. Easy expansion. Because everything is wireless, what happens? Because everything is connected wireless, we can connect more devices without getting into complex cables problems. And again, there is a lot of flexibility. I don't need to sit. Remember in the 90s or in the 2000s, you had to sit in one's place to access the internet. That computer will be there. You have to sit only there. You cannot move. If you move, I mean, there is a problem. But that is not the case now. You can just move. I can take the laptop and go and sit in a park and take the class, which isn't a bad idea, actually, thinking about it. There's a park near my house. So most probably next weekend I'll be there. Right? So flexibility is you can go anywhere and work. You don't need to be in a specific location. Again, go back to the 90s or 2000s when we had telephones that were all, wired cables and all that. You have to sit in one place and talk. So there are all of these advantages. You can move around, go anywhere and work. You're not connected to a cable, right? Moving on to privacy and security. Now, again, this is a very, very basic and simple chapter. Just because it's big, it scares people, but it's a very simple chapter. And again, I will complete it before break time. I will finish the second chapter and move to the third chapter and try to complete the third chapter also. What do I mean by privacy and security? See, when we use computers or phones, there's a risk, there's a danger that data gets stolen or misused. So we need to have protection in place. What do I mean by protection in place? How do you people protect your mobile from random people opening your mobile and getting access to it? What do you do? Fingerprint. So you have passwords in place. Right? You have certain controls like general controls, access controls like passwords. So you do have certain general controls such as under general controls, what do we have? We have things like passwords. What else? We have physical controls. What I mean by this is, now I do this, believe it or not. But my laptop, I keep it in my drawer and I lock the drawer. Now, this is a physical thing that will protect my laptop from any random people opening it, right? So my laptop is always locked in the drawer. So even if you know the password, you cannot open the drawer because the drawer is locked. These are physical controls. Maybe you have an alarm. Oh, okay, you open it, open the door, and suddenly there will be an alarm ringing. These are physical controls because this is related to physical activity. You enter the room, there will be a CCTV. All of these are physical controls. Then you have things like personal controls. Personal controls means don't let one single person have full control. What do I mean by personal control? There has to be a segregation of duties. One person should not be in charge of, they know your Wi-Fi, they know your mobile password, they know your all your app passwords, they know the OTP will go to them. That's the case, it's too dangerous. Even if one person has access to your mobile, every time they do something, the OTP should go to you. You understand? So those are personal controls. Then comes equipment controls. What do I mean by equipment controls? Equipment controls are like anti-theft cables. Equipment controls are anti-theft cables that will safeguard your devices. These protect your devices from theft, for example. And of course, business continuity planning, which basically means that you need to have backup. See, your business is not going to close tomorrow, right? If the system crashes, you should be in a position to get back all of your data. Okay, so these are some general controls for your privacy and security. General controls. General controls are in place for overall system safety. Then you have something known as application controls. Inside the application, inside the software, also there has to be controls. Inside each software also, there should be things to keep us safe from mistakes, safe from theft. In general, you have some controls. You have passwords, you have this, you have that. But even inside individual applications as well, you must have controls inside the software. For example, validity checks. This means the software will not allow you to put alphabets in the space where your phone number is asked. It checks. You cannot put alphabets because your phone number is a number. You need to put numbers. It will not allow you to put alphabets. Confirms identification. Even if you want to get into the software, it will ask you for the username and password. Identification. This confirms who you are. For example, you are asked to log in with the username and password into the software. Right? Then comes problem management. Again, if a system fails, a report is generated and the IT team will handle it. So basically, it logs issues and fixes them. So the software itself, on a timely basis, records problems and takes steps to fix those problems. And these are some specific software related controls. So again, if I have to, before moving on, summarize, Wi-Fi is what? Wi-Fi is wireless internet connection. Handheld technology is basically those devices that you can hold in your hand and use, and they are very mobile. When I say they are very mobile, I mean you can move around with them. Then we look at wireless. Again, I told the advantages are you can move around and so on. Then I told you about general controls. These are physical controls, most likely. Physical and other generic controls to keep our system safe. Then we have application controls. These are software controls, software checks to make sure data is correct and safe. So we've done 13 topics so far today. I hope this is clear and comfortable to all. All right. So is there anything you want me to quickly recap on, or everything is okay and clear and easy? Next, we're doing privacy and security risks. We're looking at threats and how to safeguard the threats. We're looking at in detail what are the risks. What do I mean by this? See, one risk to your data, one risk to your data is, say, again, we don't want that to happen, but say your office catches a fire. No, or say, for example, in Chennai of late, there were floods. There are big floods. And because of those floods, all your computers are gone. And because all the computers are gone, all files are gone. Now, again, remember, this risk is a natural disaster. A flood is a natural disaster. So one type of risk to your data and to your systems is natural disasters such as floods, such as say fires. These are natural disasters that pose a threat to your computers, to your information, right? So one threat is what? Natural disasters. And how will you safeguard against it is, of course, you will have fire extinguishers. You will have trained staff. This is very important. Like in school, I remember when I was in school, in my school, we used to regularly have fire trainings. What to do when there is a fire? How is the evacuation? Right? What to do? Who will go first? What happens? right? So fire extinguishers are important. Also, do not keep servers in flood zones. I mean, don't keep important things in the basement, for example, because when there is a flood, at least, obviously water starts coming from the bottom. So don't keep things at the basement because there's a chance of it being, a victim of the floods. Also, always keep a backup of your data somewhere safe. So for natural disaster is one threat, and these are the safeguards. So I'm putting the threat in red and the safeguard in green. The second threat is malfunction. What do I mean by malfunction? Again, say your computer freezes during the exam. This, God forbid, I don't want this to happen, but this does happen or this can happen during your exam. So how do you protect it? We need to have strong systems in place that can handle heavy use. And as I said, always keep backups. Like in my case, a tutor needs a backup device or a backup internet connection. I have two internet connections, one Wi-Fi and one I have mobile data. So I always have a backup just in case there's something that goes wrong with the Wi-Fi, I can use the data. So same way, you need to always keep a backup. Then the third risk is viruses. We all know about viruses, and these are threats to our systems. You click a link, for example, suddenly you are affected. So again, number one, please do not click on suspicious links. Don't open any link shared by somebody you just met online. Okay. Install and update antivirus software also and keep only download. Now, this is very important for students at least, but only download from trusted sites. Otherwise, you might have problems. Right? So these are some software. So it's like going back to childhood when, say, your parent would say, don't eat anything given by strangers, right? Same way, a certain professional, a certain adult way, we're telling you, don't download things from random websites. Be very careful. Don't click on links and so on. Then comes hackers. The next risk is hackers. Guys, I hope you're taking down notes, because if you just had to read from the textbook, then you don't need to take class. Right? The whole reason you are taking class is so that you take down these notes, help yourself. Hackers are basically like bad guys breaking into your system. someone breaks into your system and steals information, could steal your money, could steal your personal belongings. Now, again, remember that wall that I was talking about. You need the firewall to protect from unauthorized access. You need to keep passwords in place, plus usernames, to keep unauthorized people out. People, especially students, need to be educated on staying safe on the internet. Don't click, as I said, don't click on any suspicious links. Don't open random files shared by random people. Right? So these are ways you can protect yourself from hackers. Next comes, again, I'm going to put this in green. Green are safeguards. How will you protect yourself, basically? Next is electronic eavesdropping. What is eavesdropping? Listening, basically. Listening to what you're saying, listening to what you are talking. This is the danger where somebody might be spying on you and getting access to your actions, which nobody wants. So people access your private information that is not supposed to be accessed by them. You did not authorize them. They're eavesdropping. In simple English, what does eavesdropping mean? You listen secretly to other people talk. You're secretly listening. This is eavesdropping. Eavesdropping is listening secretly. See this? It's trying to listen to what they're talking. Right? So this is basically spying. This is basically like getting access to data that you don't want to share with anybody. Again, safeguard for that is password. Safeguard for that is use encryption. Basically, encryption means that information is scrambled. You know how scrambled? Scramble means it's information is scrambled. This is what is scrambled. Like it's made a mess. And it is shown in the right format only to the right person. So there are all of these types of dangers. Human error is also a risk. By mistake, we delete something that we were not supposed to delete. By mistake, by mistake. So again, the safeguard for that is to train the human beings to operate properly. And of course, another danger of using this devices and all of that is the danger to human health, getting headaches, getting eye strains, having these cables and falling or tripping and falling because of the cables. For example, in my case, because I take about 8 to 9 hours of class every day now, I am considering, because I'm sitting in front of the screen for about 9 hours, I'm considering getting anti-blue light glasses, which I can use while taking class. Right? So these are all the threats and there are the corresponding safeguards. Okay, so I hope that is clear and easy for everybody to understand. Now, one of the last topics of this chapter is management reports. And then we have data visualization. That's all. So just two topics before we go and take the break, just two topics before we finish this chapter for good. See, what is management reports? See, in businesses deal with a lot of confidential information. Confidential means information that is sensitive, information that is secret, which must not be shared with others. So we, the management, must control who can see all this information, who can see it, share it, and change it. Right? So we don't want everybody to be able to share information, see information, change information. And therefore, we have certain controls for that. Number one, what are the types of controls that we have? Input controls, processing controls, and output controls. Input controls, processing controls, and output controls. What do I mean by this? Input, processing, output. See, when I talk about input controls, these are controls about what gets entered into the system. Right? So again, input controls, these are controls about what gets entered into the system. We want to make sure that what gets entered into the system is correct, it is complete, it is authorized. Controls are known as input controls. What do I mean by this? Again, I'll not write that, but it's very simple. What are input controls? When we enter data, it should be made sure that only authorized people are able to enter it. Range tests. What do I mean by range tests? Again, when you input, when you enter data, it should be in a range. For example, when you talk about months in a year, there should not be an option to put 24 because there are no 24 months in a year. So that's a range test. Format checks. What do I mean by format checks? Again, when you enter data, all of this is related to input. When you input data, we are making sure that formats are checked. check digits. Again, when you input data, say for example, you're entering a mobile number and a mobile number is 10 digits. So any input of 9 digits would be a wrong number. Right? Sequence checks helps to ensure data is complete. For example, what do I mean by sequence check is, okay, I have put student, all the students' data. First student is number one. Second student is number two. Third student is number three. Then after 1, 2, 3, after 1, 2, 3, automatically when there is 5, it means there's a mistake. I have missed some student. Number 4 is missing. So that is what is sequence check. This is checking if all the data entered is in the correct sequence, because if you enter it, input it in the wrong sequence, it means maybe something is missing. So these are some of the controls over input. Then we talk about controls over processing and output. These are controls over what happens during the work. Controls, you can write it this way, over what happens during the work. Okay. Controls over what happens during the work. For example, process sync controls. We make sure the system works smoothly and no one during the process cheats or changes data. So again, for example, we use passwords. During the process, we use passwords where people can enter only with their password, and we can catch from which account what changes were made. So even if you access through your account, I can see, okay, Alina has changed this. Fayaz has changed this. So there are passwords to see who did what. Keep logs or audit trails. Now again, this is like a security camera for data. Again, we can see what has happened over a period of time. Period of time. Then, so again, make a note, this is processing controls. Okay. Now we will look at output controls. What do I mean by output controls? These are the output, that is when you take data, only right people, only the authorized people should get final reports out. No random people should get it. That is what output controls means. Again, in order to take out data, there should be use of passwords, lockup, sensitive printouts. Again, don't leave sensitive pieces of information lying around. Keep lying around. Keep it locked up. Okay. So that is what this says. That's it. Again, we've talked about all of this, guys: firewalls, data encryption, virus protection, personal controls. So this is already covered. How do you keep yourself safe? All these points have been looked at. Just have a look at it. I'll give you 2 minutes. So guys, I hope this is clear and comfortable. The next thing we're looking at is data visualization. What do I mean by data visualization? See, it's just this is just showing numbers, showing data in pictorial form. This is a fancy way of showing numbers or data in pictures. Like what? Like this. This is data visualization, simple. So data visualization is just simply showing data or numbers in pictures. That's all. Because it is easier for human beings to grasp pictures than just numbers. Right? It's easier for us to understand pictures and not numbers. It's easier for us to remember pictures and numbers, and that's why we have data in a more visually attractive way. Which is the visually attractive way? Pictures. As simple as that. So that is what data visualization means. Okay, I hope that is clear. So data visualization is just the use of charts, graphs, diagrams, etc. to show data. That's it. Guys, any problems? All clear? Now again, the following are characteristics of effective data visualization. Now, again, see, when we do data visualization, there are certain features. Okay, it helps in decision making. Number one. Right, and it leads to effective infrastructure. One of the features is its effective infrastructure. The output is reliant upon sufficient quantity and quality of data. So the data that you get has come out because of good quantity and good quality of data. And this data can be integrated into our existing systems. Basically, again, all in all, in simple words, this is the use of presenting of data without very complex words in simple drawings. And therefore, which two of the following are characteristics of effective data visualization? Use of jargon as difficult words? No. I would say intuitive visuals and audience specific. I mean, the data is shown depending on who the audience is, the necessary data is shown. It doesn't show all data of data. And ultimately, with the use of that data, we can make the decisions. And again, there are a few examples here on line charts, mapping charts, and pie charts. This is an example of a pie chart. Okay, so I want you to go through those graphs, bars, and charts because those are very basic things. I mean, there's not much to really teach in that. With that, this chapter, the second chapter, is over. So come back in 10 minutes and we will look at the third chapter. Okay, you can take your break, come back by 7:06. Hey guys, welcome back. Now we are looking at the next chapter, which is on chapter 3. Right, this is looking at strategic, tactical, and operational level of management. Right, and what this means is this again goes back to F2. I don't know how many of you remember this from F2, but levels of management, as we saw in F2. Well, see, first and foremost, we're learning about three kinds of planning, three levels of planning that happens within an organization. One is the planning that happens at the entire bottom, the lower level of management. They do the day-to-day planning. And that's why it's called operational level planning. Day-to-day operating work. Then above them is the tactical level planning. What do I mean by tactical level of planning? Tactical level means they are the middle level managers, right? And above that, you have the top level planning, top level managers, strategic level. And remember, at the bottom versus the top, where do you think there will be more people? Top. There will be fewer people. Maybe there's one boss at the top. But at the bottom, there are more people. It's a broader level altogether. You know, there'll be more people at the bottom. Think about it. In a country, there will be maybe one prime minister, but there'll be many, many MLAs. So there are more at that level than CMs would be, say, comparatively fewer. So that's why we have a triangular shape, right? At the top, at the bottom, and at the middle. The top is where there are fewer people, obviously, because it's a top level. Middle would be the tactical level, middle level managers, and lower level would be the operational level planning. Okay. So that is what you have over here. And as I mentioned, the strategic level, this is the topmost level of management. They make long-term plans. So strategic level, let me put it this way. Again, let's take the analogy of the prime minister. He is at the top, number one. Again, do you think the prime minister of a country would be making day-to-day plans? Oh, there one wire is there, we have to fix that. Oh, in that office, there is some issue. Government office, there is a problem in that office. No, he will be more involved with the more bigger things, more long-term plans. And again, strategically, he will be concerned with the overall future direction of the country, in this case, the company. Okay, mainly need external information. I mean, in order to decide what is happening, in order to decide what to do, we need information from other countries. Or say a strategic level manager, he wants to decide whether we are starting a new pizza shop. In order to decide whether you want to start a new pizza shop, you need what? You need to know what are the tastes of the customers in that area. You want to start a pizza shop in, say, Bangalore. You want to know what do they prefer there? What do they like? What do they don't like? What are the competitors giving there? So he needs external information broadly, right? Then comes the middle level or tactical level use of managers, but I'll do this after explaining the operational level, because if you've understood the operational level, then, and if you've understood the strategic level, then tactical are just in between. Operational level, these are those managers who make day-to-day decisions and plans. They are the lower most level of management. Because they are making day-to-day decisions, they need short-term data. They need detailed short-term data. I mean, I want to decide whether I will buy from supplier A or supplier B. I need short-term data in detail about supplier A and supplier B. In between the strategic and the tactical levels of management, we have the middle level who achieved the goals of the strategic level managers by making the operational level work. So the operational level managers report to the tactical level. They make middle level plans. Right? Middle level meaning maybe a year or two. One or 2 years. So this is strategic, tactical, and operational. Make a note again, see if everything's clear, and then we will move on. Okay, so strategic, tactical, operational is over. Strategic level managers, tactical, operational, you can have a look at this. They make short-term budgets for 12 months. Okay, all of that detail has been given. Again, we've explained strategic, management, operational. And in each case, we're talking about a specific system each level of management uses. And that's what we're going to look at today. But before we move, let's look at test your understanding 1. Operational level managers need information that is short-term or long-term. Short or long-term information. Very short-term information. And comes mainly from internal or external. Yes, it comes mainly from internal sources. It is the strategic level that comes mainly from external sources. So the answer has to be 2 and 3, which is B. Now we're going to look at transaction processing systems. We're basically going to be looking at all the systems that we need to be aware of. What do I mean by transaction processing system or TPS? See, at the lower level, say at the operational level, you make day-to-day transactions. There is no doubt about it. You need to have a system that will capture all the transactions automatically. You need to have a system that will automatically record day-to-day transactions for a business. This is a system that will automatically capture day-to-day transactions for business. Day-to-day transactions. It's like a digital diary that you use. It's like a digital diary. Automatically, it will capture it. Diary, which captures all transactions, such as what did we sell, what did we buy, who bought it, what items need to be restocked, and so on. So a TPS, or a transaction processing system, is a computer system that keeps track of every transaction a business does, like sales, payments, orders, and stores it safely day after day. Every time, say you make a transaction, the TPS records it, right? And why is a TPS important? Because we want to make sure that all transactions recorded are accurate. Because if the transactions are recorded wrongly, then all the reports will be wrong. Right? And that is what is a transaction processing system. You can read the textbook and you can write. I'll give you 2 minutes. On the right hand side, you have what you need to write. And on the left hand side, you have the textbook. Everything is covered. Just have a look. Guys, any problems? All okay with TPS? Again, a transaction processing system would normally be used by operational level managers. Okay. And again, data is facts and figures that has been processed in such a way that it has meaning to the user. So again, which is the right answer? Test your understanding 2. Data is facts and figures that is not yet processed. So 1 only is the correct answer. Yes, guys, you're right. Test your understanding 2. The option is A. We now move on to management information system. See, this is used by the tactical level of managers. What do I mean by this? Is, say, once the operational level managers, they've, remember, transaction processing system records all the transactions, and it is used by the operational level management. But now that we have all the information recorded, an MIS, a management information system, is a smart information system that takes lots and lots of raw data As I said, what the operational level managers use the transaction processing system, which captures a lot of raw data, correct? Now, when it comes to the MIS, the managers, the middle level people, they cannot just sit with raw data. So the MIS, what it does is it takes lots and lots of raw data and turns it into useful reports. The transaction processing system captures transactions and you have a lot of raw data. But for middle level managers or tactical level managers, we need proper reports. We can't just take raw data. So there is where the MIS report comes to help us. So the MIS takes a lot of raw data and converts it into useful reports and gives it to managers so they can make better decisions with it. Who uses management information systems? This is generally used by the tactical level managers, which is middle level management. Yes, Fayaz, that's right. So MIS takes raw data and turns it into useful reports, and it helps middle managers make decisions. I hope that is clear, guys. So again, you can have a look at what I've written and what is there in the textbook. Side by side, it is mentioned. Guys, any problem with MIS? Information systems. Yes, you can say that, Fayaz. Again, transaction processing system captures the data and the MIS takes that and converts it into useful reports. Then comes executive information systems. You can have a look at this. Again, they provide support for managers, mainly the middle level managers. Right? They provide online access to the transaction processing systems to give summary information on the performance. So again, we take the transaction processing system and summarize it and give a report on that. Illustration 2, a company that operates a national chain of car showrooms could use an MIS for performance measurement. The MIS could use the information from the sales transaction processing system to generate reports such as all these reports can be made from the information of the transaction processing system. Then comes something known as executive information system. Now, this is used by the strategic level managers most of the time. So this is like a VIP dashboard, you can say. system is used by strategic level management, and it shows only the important information, important, relevant information. Right? It gives both internal information and external information. But again, it is for strategic level managers. So MIS is for the tactical level managers, and top executives, that is the strategic level managers, use EIS. So EIS, how it works is it is summarized information. Because remember, the ones at the top, they don't want day-to-day information of what is going on. They want the important summarized information, like how is our company growing overall. That kind of information is what is needed. What are our competitors doing? What are their actions? And again, it's very easy to use. EIS is easy to use, easy access. It's simple. It's, you can just be looking at the information. It's very easy to understand. Guys, any problems with this? Yes, so executive information system is also done. Right? Now we're going to look at something known as yes, that's right. Now we're looking at what is an ERPS, Enterprise Resource Planning System. So ERP, these systems bring everything together. These systems bring everything together, like sales, purchases, operations, into one big unified software. So everyone works with the same info, and no one is confused or is using outdated stuff. So we're basically integrating the data from all operations within an organization into one single system, and that is what ERPS is. So we're making sure that everybody is looking at the same piece of information, and everybody is having the latest piece of information, and everybody is having access to all information whichever is relevant to them. Okay. So it's an integrated system. everyone shares the same database. It's like we all have our individual chats, but then there is, I know it's not the best example, but there is one big group chat, right? So all the data is there. Okay. It covers all departments. Everybody is in one office group, from HR to sales. So all parts of the business are connected. You get smart decision tools. Basically, this ERPS has certain features that will help the bosses, the senior level executives, make better decisions easily. And again, it is real time information. For example, if one of your inventory is sold, it will get automatically updated. So that is what an ERPS is about. Just have a look, see if there's a problem. All right, guys. So we've done quite a lot of theory today, and we have, it's 7:40, but because there's a lot of theory done, I want you to have a look at everything we've done. We've done about 23 topics today, which are on the screen. Okay, and there's quite a lot to go through. So I'm going to give you some extra time to go through all of these topics and let me know how much is your understanding out of 5. Because after this, we have CRM, which unfortunately we were not able to cover today. But that's it. There's big data. And with that, this chapter will also be done on big data once big data is over. So go through this 23 topics. I'll give you a couple of minutes. One by one, you go through. Give me 1 second, okay? I think this, I've lost it or removed it. Yeah. So anyway, WAN is what? WAN is, let's go back to it. WAN is basically a network which connects devices, which connects the LANs. WAN, this is a wider network that connects LANs. LANs are local area networks. See if that helps. Again, go down here, these things. Okay, guys. So if you have to rate your understanding out of 5 for these 23 topics, I think today we did the maximum, I don't think any other day we've done 23 topics. So if you have to rate your understanding out of 5 for these 23 topics, how much would it be? So how much would we be out of 5, guys, for these 23 topics? Guys, are you going through? How much would you be on a scale of 0 to 5 for this topic? Just type it in the chat box. You feel numericals are better. That's fine. Okay, but is there anything you need better understanding with? All right. Fine. Okay, guys. So we're in the third chapter, meaning by next week we will, because we've already completed most of the fourth chapter, by next weekend we'll complete the third chapter and we will be in fifth chapter because fourth chapter more or less is done. Okay. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next class.